Hello guys and welcome to SteveKnows, a crazy week and a pivotal point for the future of virtual reality, which makes me very anxious. We have a lot to talk about today. We've also got the version 30 update for the Oculus Quest, game updates, and so much more. And also, YouTube seems to be unsubscribing you guys. No idea why it's doing that, but I would really appreciate it if you would click below to revert their wrongdoing. So anyway, enough chinwagging, let's get started. So I'm starting off with the biggest bombshell that is going to rub salt in the wound for people already upset about linking their Facebook account to their virtual reality gaming headset. A new report just come out stating that Facebook will be trialing adverts inside your VR games. There are many things to discuss with this, but first, some context. So Facebook will be placing sponsored adverts inside of your games, starting with Blast On from Resolution Games and two more unnamed titles. Their reason for this, they said, was to create a self-sustaining platform, which meh. The adverts will follow the same principles of the Facebook platform, so you can block certain adverts and specific companies. And it is going to use your Facebook profile data and your Oculus Store browsing data to target advertising at you. It will not use your virtual reality movement data or your voice recorded data for this purpose. So some peace of mind there at least. Kinda. So in-game, an advert will be on screen integrated into the game itself, and you'll be able to click on the advert and it will give you the option to click on a link to take you to a store page or save that link for later. They've also said that they are exploring more ways to integrate adverts into games without being intrusive. So things like if you're in a shopping mall and there's a billboard there, it could advertise you some bagel bites or whatever it is that you search up online. But for now, it will be simply just boxes placed in interfaces. Not the most seamless approach. So there are a few things good and bad here. And first of all, I did reach out to some folk that are involved in this, and I have been told that this is actually a test. This is not a full-blown implementation, it is a trial, a beta, an experiment at this stage about using adverts in games. And they expressed that the opportunity that this gave them meant that they were able to fund additional content for their game without solely relying on sales, which in virtual reality, I'm afraid to say this, but they do stagnate rather fast. After a game has been out for a couple of weeks or a month, sales will decline rather rapidly. So for that use case, I like the idea to bring money to developers to fund great games and free additional content, as these developers, they do get a cut of the advertising costs. And since VR is a growing industry that needs support, this money could assist it. However, when the industry is no longer in these dire straits and no longer needs this support, we will likely be left with the tyrannical advertising campaigns in our VR games. Second, I do not agree with adverts being in games that I have paid for. This is strange to me. I have paid for this content. Why am I still exposed to this? If any of you have seen adverts in paid content before, please let me know. But of course, talking about this now, movies. Movies do this with product placement, and we don't even realize it's there sometimes. I hope that it's going to be integrated, if this becomes a thing, in the same way. And third, are games going to require an internet connection now? So adverts can be displayed, because if we turn off the Wi-Fi, then targeted advertising wouldn't be possible. So are they going to work around this tactic and cache some adverts? Will games require a Wi-Fi connection, or can we simply just turn it off and avoid them altogether? There can be benefits though how this is integrated. I am curious on the curation, because games where adverts are not relevant, such as me playing In Death Unchained, let's say, and then there's a Burger King poster in a castle, I'm going to be like, what the f***? But in a game that has billboards, it's in a city, it can be more immersive and everybody wins that way. But where is the line drawn? Is this going to influence how games are made, the type of games that are made, so developers can make more money? I am worried for the impact this is going to have, and makes me wish Vive dropped a standalone device and not the Vive Pro 2, because I would seriously be considering moving away from this platform, because I'm really saddened by this. But let's see what happens down the road. And also, when I'm streaming, I don't want people to see that I've been searching for uses of Sudocrem. What's that now, Steve? And just in, Blast On has been targeted by people to vent their frustrations, writing 1-star terrible reviews on the game after hearing about these advertisements. Resolution Games did respond, and they said this: "We have seen the negative reviews, and while no one likes to see one of their games in this light, These responses are bigger than Blastord, and something that the games industry has been seeing for years. At Resolution Games, any integration we do first and foremost takes into account the players and their gameplay experiences. This is all valuable information that will be taken into consideration when the small test begins later this summer. So as I said, this is a small test, they're confirming it there. This isn't a full-blown implementation as of yet, so if you know where you stand on this matter and you've had a very long think about it, and once it's out, you can see for yourself what it's going to be like, I do urge you to take a stance on your beliefs because the future of VR is at stake. But let's move on to something a bit more positive now, guys. So Racket Nx, the very first game that I was offered a key to review, that was a glorious day, so thank you to everyone who's been here since that day on the channel. Racket Nx is bringing a new update that contains a level editor. A fantastic addition where you can create your own levels and share them with the public, increasing the amount of potential content for you to enjoy tenfold. If you're not aware of this game, it's great, it's simple. You basically play racquetball in the future, but throw in a bit of Breakout from back in the day and voila, Racket Nx. So you have to hit the ball into areas that are highlighted to try and turn out all of the lights and earn points. So the editor is going to give you a nice window in front of you, a nice simple kind of menu, and you'll just drag and drop elements onto the map to create your custom arenas, placing markers, health points, barriers. Go nuts. A quick note here that was quite sweet for the USA and not so much for the UK though, and I think at this point you're going to struggle to get one because the offer has ended, but some lucky folk would have got an Oculus Quest 2 for just $250 from Target with free shipping. That is such an incredible bargain. Target are an official partner of Oculus, so fingers crossed we see this offer once again, maybe during the Black Friday sales, so you can get a cheap bargain. And you know, Facebook, they've got to get the advertising audience up, haven't they? So Larcenauts just released on the Oculus Quest, one of the most exciting releases of late. This is an online shooter, and I know we've got many of them, but this one kind of brings a new vibe to the genre. It's quirky and fun, and surprisingly, it plays and looks fantastic on the Quest. Multiplayer titles usually don't look so great on release from this system. The game is less tactical on an individual level, but as a team, it's very much so, and I love that about it. So there are 8 classes with different abilities, and your key to team success lies within having the right mix and great team communication, so much more so than other multiplayer titles. So you can all choose an assault class and just go in guns blazing, but in my experience this will not end well for you. It's much better having someone who can place down shields for defense, have someone that can heal other players, have someone that's got good long range abilities, so team communication ends up being vital. But that's what makes it so much fun. This is an online multiplayer game, so I want a multiplayer experience. I'm quite impressed with Larcenauts. A new report is in for the PlayStation VR 2, stating that this headset could release in 2022 and contain an OLED display. Bloomberg said people that are in that area that know on this matter have said to expect a release of the holiday 2022 window and the headset to contain new OLED displays from Samsung. This is interesting as a lot of virtual reality headsets have gone the route for LCD displays, because LCD screens you can get a higher resolution at a cheaper price. And we know that LCD have color issues, especially with black levels, so it's great to see that Sony want to go the OLED route. And for that, I'm personally very, very thankful and happy because the OLED display on the Quest 1, the colors were more vibrant, the experience was more vibrant. I just hope that they're not going to sacrifice the resolution of the screen for that. Some of you may have seen that the Oculus Quest version 30 is now upon your headset, but I do not have it yet at the time of recording this. Sad times, but I will let you know what's in the update. And is this the most insane, epic update yet? No, but it's still kind of cool. So the first thing is a manage microphone update. So you'll now be able to swap your microphone between the party chat and the game chat. And you can do this in the universal menu by selecting manage voice. So this should solve the issue of you being in a party chat which is private, but still want the ability to talk in-game, allowing you to easily gossip about some of the other players online. I am kidding, but it's still kind of handy for some, not for me, because you need to be invited to a party first. We have a multitasking update. This is more up my street, so you can now multitask with multiple system level 2D applications side by side in the Oculus Home on both Quest 1 and the Quest 2. That's things like the internet browser, the explore page, the store page, events, Oculus TV, the Oculus Move, the scoreboards app, so you can do multiple things at once. This is an experimental feature though, so you will have to go to the settings and enable it, but this means no more leaving an app to open another one to do something and then going back to where you wanted to go previously in the first place. This is a feature that I expect people using the headset for productivity are going to love. You can browse the internet whilst watching something on Oculus TV. I love that idea because when I'm working at home, I like to do it kind of, casually, so you're not overstressed, and having the ability to add those multiple apps at once I think is great. So next is color correction. We did speak about this in an earlier video as Basti564 found some source code and some references to some services that was about changing the color filter to help those who are colorblind, or perhaps just want to change the colors slightly to give them a better contrast to assist them in multiplayer shooters, especially since graphics on the Quest in these shooters are often not great, and at a distance I can never tell, is that somebody standing there or is that a bin? But a great accessibility feature for those that have problems with color. There is a raise view feature, so you can now raise and adjust your view, giving you a standing vantage point whilst physically seated. This again is an experimental feature, so go to settings and select boost your height. So you can now make yourself taller, and this to me seemed kind of an obvious feature, so not sure why we didn't have this before, because I remember in games like Hyperdash it would have been really handy, because once you start and you're not incredibly tall, you will be slightly crouched. A small update and handy for the little ones. And yes, that was a joke. And now the Air Link for the Oculus Quest. Maybe the best part of this update is now that every single owner of an Oculus Quest can enjoy the Air Link. It's now supported on the original Oculus Quest, so you don't need to buy the virtual desktop application. To enjoy wireless PCVR, you can go native if you cannot afford that app. Myself, I like to use the Air Link for Oculus games and virtual desktop for Steam, but that's just me. But please note, for the Air Link, you need to make sure that both the PC and your headset are going to be on version 30 to enable this. And of course, some basic improvements which are very vague, but thanks Oculus, we've improved searching and casting, whatever that means. Next, we have Tetris Effect. It is getting cross-platform multiplayer. I love this idea because after playing Tetris 99, Tetris Online, it is so much fun. So the Connected Summer Update is coming late July to the Quest, PCVR, and PlayStation VR. PlayStation owners will get to enjoy the beta on June 23rd to July the 5th. So this new update is going to let you create private rooms and play cross-platform. And in these rooms, you can enjoy game modes such as Connected, which is 3 of you take on an AI together. I do love cooperative online experiences. There's a zone mode, which is basically a 1v1 Tetris game that other people in the room can spectate, but it has the zone stopping feature to mix up the style slightly. And of course, Score Attack, which is basically classic Tetris 1v1. And they've also added a PAL speed feature which recreates the old school 8-bit Tetris for some nostalgia, which is much faster than the NT version. You've been warned. And now Onward gets an update as well to improve its audio quality, which is something that goes unappreciated. Good audio you just don't notice, because it's immersive, it's exactly how it should be. So 1.88, they have rebalanced the volume levels of certain audio sounds, adjusted audio that occurs in the distance so it's more muffled and realistic, but they've also added new effects such as new explosions, gunfire and footsteps. I like that they made a video of this as well comparing the audio, so you don't have to just take my word on it, you can check out the improvements for yourself. Just turn down your headphones though, because some of these they did make me jump. So thank you for watching to the end of the video. If you feel strongly or have a position on this new ad situation, please don't dismiss it. This is a big one that we need to make sure our voices are heard on. The future of VR is at stake, so think about the pros and cons and have a fantastic weekend. Happy gaming, guys. Good day.